All right, good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you all for joining us today for our Marching Forward Monday VBE showcase. Today, we're going to have 4 NaVOBA's certified veteran-owned businesses presenting. As always, if you're not speaking, please keep your microphone muted. This session is being recorded and will be available to you all on our YouTube channel. If you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat box throughout the session. We will have a Q&A session at the end of all of the presentations, and we will open the floor after Quay Eady. So please welcome our first presenter, Olu Olusanya.
You're on mute, Olu.
Hey, thanks. I was just about to hit the share button. I had it open just a minute ago. My apologies. Can you see my screen? You probably see like an infinite loop of like.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you see my slides?
Yes.
Perfect. Still see it?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Good afternoon from Austin, Texas. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to be here and talk about my company. My name is Olu Olusanya, and I'm the founder of Olu Technologies, LLC. A couple of years ago, I was deployed with the Texas National Guard to the Middle East, and as a signal officer, I was tasked with maintaining our comms infrastructure within our area of operation. At some point, I grew a little frustrated with the way we were lagging behind in technology in the military. I had worked prior to that, I had worked with some tech companies, private companies, including Dell. And I just couldn't, I was a little frustrated with how, we didn't have the right technologies we needed. And I came up with the idea to start my service company, Olu Technologies, LLC. Well, today I'm going to be talking to you about who we are, the services we provide, and then we'll discuss our call to action or my ask for the group and the corporate allies, and open the floor for any questions. Oh, moving on, we're an IT company. We're service-disabled veteran-owned small business. We're founded in 2021, so we're a little less than 2 years old. We're still new, a startup company, if you may, and we're based in the great city of Austin, Texas. And in addition to that, we provide IT products and services to the private and the public sectors. So more specifically, or more so the public sector, we've done some work with the Texas Water Development Board here in Texas, in Austin, Texas. And we're looking to penetrate into the private sector. A couple of months ago, we had a conversation with USAA about the possibility of subcontracting some opportunities to us. However, there was a hiring freeze around that time, so that got put on hold. In the future, in the next couple of months, we're hoping to re-engage with USAA and start up that conversation. And we have a team of professional IT specialists. A majority of us are veterans, so we've worked with the DoD, we've worked with the military, the National Guard, active duty, etc. And we also possess a top secret SCI, which means we're cleared to work on any projects within the federal government that requires that very high level of confidentiality. So this slide, I'm going to talk about our services. We have 4 core services that we provide. So software development is one of them, specifically DevSecOps. So DevSecOps is pretty much integrating security in every aspect of the software development lifecycle. So this is this is a big buzzword in the DoD and federal agencies, et cetera, as we've seen in the past. A couple of years ago when OPM got hacked, and I think about a year or 2 ago was SolarWinds, which was a big security vulnerability. So there's this big push for hardening our applications that are running in the cloud to reduce our vulnerability surface area. And secondly, we offer digital modernization services. Now, cloud services is a subset of that. So what that entails is modernizing applications that have been built by government agencies or individuals that run on-prem using obsolete technologies. So what we do is we help them refactor their software using open source latest technologies and highly secure technologies, and we migrate it to the cloud, including AWS, Google Cloud Platform, and Azure, using the latest technologies and ensuring that security isn't compromised. We also provide IT staff augmentation. We put our veterans to work with our network of veterans that are transitioning out of the military and have specific skill sets that could be transferred into the private sector. We match them with opportunities in private companies, and a lot of them have security clearances, which may be a little difficult to get outside, the DoD or the military. We also provide geographic information systems. We develop applications that provide GIS services and also help some agencies or companies that need to migrate these applications to the cloud so they could scale up or down as needed. Moving on to our call to action and my ask for our corporate allies. So there are a few things that could be of very great help to us. The first one being subcontracting opportunities. As a service-based company, we live and die by opportunities. So we're looking to partner with any agency or any company that need the services that we have, that we provide. And in addition to that, mentorship. So some agencies, and I think the SBA as well, they have a mentor protege program, which pairs companies that are well seasoned in the industry with up and coming businesses like mine. We have Accenture as one of our mentors. So they mentor us specifically in the state of Texas for staff augmentation. So we're open to such opportunities, would love to learn from seasoned companies and from the corporate allies. And last but not the least, referral. If you know someone who needs our services, I would love to have a conversation with them. This brings us to the end of this presentation, and I believe we are saving the questions, answers for the end. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You did great.
All right, I'll go ahead and post my information in the comment section.
Thank you, Olu. Up next,
you.
we have Dr. Philip Blair.
All right, thank you very much for having me. I'm Dr. Philip Blair. I am a retired colonel, U.S. Army, retired about 30 years ago. But I continue in this space as a family physician, and I've become a cannabinoid specialist. And part of my work has been to identify other complexes that can be working as a cannabinoid influencer on the body. And so for that measure, I've created a company called Blair Medical Group and established a line of products using beta-caryophyllene. It's an oral and topical family of over-the-counter adaptogens. Now, I just want to give you some of my background. I attended West Point. I went to medical school at the University of Miami, became a family physician and residency. I retired from the Army after combat duty in 1996. And then I've evolved into disease management and more recently, since 2014, cannabinoid therapy with CBD. Now, what is caryophyllene? Well, it's a terpene oil. It's a fragrant and commonly found oil in thousands of plants. It has a high concentration in 36 species. And amazingly, it is found in our food supply, and an average dose is about 100 to 200 milligrams in the foods that we eat, in basil, rosemary, cloves, hops, and many other vegetables that we have sampled. It is FDA approved. It's generally recognized as safe in food, and it is used, it's approved for food flavorings and cosmetics. What I've done is put together 4 products. In this case, with containing caryophyllene. There is a liposomal that is very active in the bioavailability. There's a topical gel, and there's a topical essential oil. In addition, we've created crunches, which are small, edible, 1 centimeter size cookies that are very tasty and are very effective for delivering a significant amount of beta caryophyllene to patients. So how does this work? Well, beta caryophyllene works on the endocannabinoid system, and that is a system that's a 12th body system, including that includes the neurologic, the endocrine, the immunologic systems, all of these systems. And this is actually the 12th body system that we're recognized. It interfaces with all of the other systems and is considered the master controller. In addition to the receptors that it works on, it actually interferes with some of the enzymes that break it down. So it elevates it, elevate levels of endocannabinoids, and it connects with opioid receptors, which are key and important in pain control. Now, I've compared beta caryophyllene with CBD, and you can see the number of targets that CBD has and the beta caryophyllene shares. So you can see that it's a very like product and it has great potential, but it doesn't have any potential for testing positive or any of the highs that can be associated or side effects of CBD. It has a huge number of potential applications. These have all been identified in preclinical trials and show great success. Many of them have been verified by testimonials by our users. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about some of the conditions that I've focused on, but I can't name them all. I can't talk about all of them. So I'm going to talk about pain, inflammation, and addiction. So with regard to pain, it improves it mitigates against all of the inflammatory parameters that relate to pain. And the CB2 receptor in the endocannabinoid system is the primary receptor that engages on the pain pathways. And so it is instructive for mitigating against the pain. It improves the memory and memory deficit. It immunomodulates. And it interferes with Alzheimer's disease. It has a superb effect on neuroinflammation through the number of receptor systems in the body. Now, with respect to inflammation, the CB2 receptor is actually located on every one of our immune cells. And by activating this receptor, we turn off the inflammatory components. And that means for the heart, for the brain, for the gut, and for the throat as well. In addition, it's actually anti-inflammatory for the vascular system. And so that's wherein it gets its potential as an anti-atherosclerotic factor. And finally, I want to talk about the benefits of using beta caryophyllene for addiction. In a number of studies that have been reported that the benefits are it has corrected and adapted to and it stopped the addiction for cocaine, nicotine, opioids, morphine, methamphetamine, and alcohol. In addition, it's actually anti-addictive for carbohydrates and THC. So my emphasis here is to bring you aware of the over-the-counter potential of this compound and the availability of it, to offer you wholesale or white labeling contracts for the distribution of it, and to alert you to the employee health plan endorsement. If this was on your employee health plan, you could have patients and your employees receiving this as a particular benefit, and you would be able to eliminate many of the anti-inflammatory and the anti-immune agents that are commonly used, and you would facilitate their recovery in an accelerated way. So I wanted to tell you about a couple people who are using this product. Hartford Pain Treatment Center and Jonathan Cost, he's having a 75% response for pain from the liposomal beta caryophyllene and the gel. And his patients, he quotes here, my patients with mast cell activation disorder, autonomic dysregulation, and small fiber neuropathy that were given BCP, it changed their life. And he's had over 120 orders for the bottles and 33 orders of the gel and over 300 samples during the time since June of 2022. And then I've got another naturopath who says the most significant results are seen in patients with severe issues like neuropathies, pain, and inflammation condition. I would like to order 30 more bottles. So you see, it has a potential for sales and for benefits that can be widely applied. So there's not much competition. There are only some inferior products, and some of them that contain caryophyllene do not contain it in a delivery mechanism that I have in the liposomal form. In the liposomal form, it delivers an improved palatability. There's a bioavailability that is about 5 times what it would be in an essential oil. It comes in, the normal dose is about 10 to 30 milligrams. It's synergistic with CBD, so it works with cannabinoids to enhance the benefits that occur. And there are no significant adverse effects and no known drug interactions at this time. So in summary, I've got a natural health food substance. It's a broad spectrum cannabinoid. It's FDA approved. It has synergizes with cannabis and CBD. It's an alternative cannabis product because it doesn't test positive at all. And there's no significant competitor. It's established in an effective liposomal format, inexpensive, high quality, and it has an international market. So I want to get this product is available through Cellgate and as a manufacturer. And I want to offer my information and contact information and any other arrangements that can be made.
All right, thank you very much. Up next, we have Peter Frasco.
Sorry, wouldn't let me get to my third screen. I apologize. Now, if we can just get over here again. Swap them away here. Here we go. So lots of slides for you today. Name's Pete Frasco. Appreciate your time today. Give you just a little bit of background real quick. I'm going to go relatively quick because I have a lot of slides, as you saw as I flipped through them real quick there. The important stuff. A husband of almost 30 years, father of 3, grandfather of 2, a 20-year veteran, and then the rest you'll get the fun stuff here in a second. I try to be humorous whenever possible. So here's my history. Dropped on my head as a baby, you know. Of course, this says in a pool of awesomeness. Who knows about that, but we'll see. So 20 years in the Army, I was a signal warrant officer, right to Silicon Valley to a startup that was in the emergency mass notification and crisis communication business. They were bought out in 15, went to BlackBerry, was traveling around the world from Singapore in one of those pictures, Sydney, Australia, and another, speaking at their Secure World tours. The key for me is when I retired from that part of my career, I decided I wanted to do something that would make a difference. I saw small businesses having a problem, and I want to help small businesses, one, protect themselves, 2, enable growth through technology. Every business is a technology business today. So I want to be able to help 1,000 small businesses by the end of 24. That's my goal. because especially veteran small businesses, because there's so many resources out there and they don't even know they're there. Just to start off the bat, I want to, we have gone out of our way. I have gone out of my way to make sure I get all the right industry partnerships in place. All of the major distributors, Ingram Micro, TD SYNNEX, Carasoft, Arrow. I saw somebody on here from CDW. No, I'm not with CDW yet. Pax8, then all the hardware vendors, software vendors, security vendors, to be able to either, I bid on some VA contracts, some other federal contracts, because I am a service disabled veteran-owned small business as well as a disability and NaVOBA veteran-owned business from the hardware and software perspective. But, it doesn't matter how many tools and resources and computers, that you have if you don't know how to use them. And that's the key. What do you have out there today? I can sell 1 million computers and it isn't going to matter if you don't know how to use them, like we said. So what's available out to small businesses in the mid-market today, even the enterprise market, the Fortune 500 market, you have companies that come in, they assess, they consult, and they run, or they do a lot of break fix, hourly charges, those types of things. What is the difference for us? We provide a proactive ecosystem of constantly managing systems. It's not one single thing. Yes, we can do one piece and it's part of a bigger picture, but we also provide full life cycle services from end to end. You're a brand new business, you need to meet the basic cyber requirements for cybercrime insurance, or you're a mid-market company that needs already has internal IT and needs to meet the requirements, needs to make sure your team is meeting the requirements of their cybersecurity insurance, and you bring us in as your virtual chief security officer, and we make sure your team's doing everything they say they're doing, because quite frankly, they don't have the time to monitor all those things. You'd be surprised how often an IT organization is paying for something that is not really being done. So who are we helping? We're helping everybody, the remote workers, the office workers. It's not about just one thing. But the real key here is, cyber attacks have gone up over 60%. The key here, it starts with a phish. It's emotional. And by the way, don't ever use public Wi-Fi. So I want to cover just a real quick example. And I've touched on a couple of real key things there really fast for a reason. There's an organization, these are a couple examples from right near me. I'm near Fort Riley here in Manhattan, Kansas, as well as the CDC of animals and plants here, the National Bio-Agro-Defense Facilities here in Manhattan. And recently, as of September 21, one of the local counties here was hacked and had 3 of their major systems ransomed. Yeah, they got they had insurance. Their insurance agent went and negotiated, got that down to $70,000. But the overall cost was closer to the $500,000 mark. The downtime, all of that stuff. The real key I want you to see here is that the next guy. In the middle market, we all have IT people. We all have, security people. That second comment there, we built our systems with great firewalls. We had everything we thought, it was in place, and that line ends with that security guy saying, we really didn't have a concern. Well, they lost $15 million and went out of business because of a hack. Is this what you see as a hacker? A lot of people do. That's what their bedroom looks like. It's important to understand that hackers are big business. This is what it looks like. These people are making billions of dollars. In 2017, it was $2.3 million. So $2.3 million were paid for ransom. In 2019, 2 years later, a new record was set. It was $7.5 billion. So this is just, I mean, that exponential increase in what people are paying out in ransomware. Recently, it was Zurich, one of the leaders at Zurich came out and said, you know, at some point, cyber liability might be uninsurable. So, you know, it's that expensive for companies these days. So how do we help with that? We help you secure your environment. We optimize those things, and we improve on it. So it's a constant cycle. I refer it back to, you know, kind of my military days in the fighting position. You dig a fighting position, and then you're constantly improving upon it, whether it's defensive or offensive. So you keep your company compliant with regulations. You know, the organizations are getting slammed this year with GLBA. If you're an accountant, if you're a car dealer, if you're just the amount of companies that are being classified as a financial institution by the FTC is immense. Our total solution is our titanium solution, gives you all of your licensing in one package, one price, one vendor, to handle it all for you. Am I going the wrong? Up there we go. There's that last slide. So got about 50 seconds to spare. I'll copy and paste some of this information into there. Bottom line, we offer, whether it's the small, the mid-market, or the enterprise, we offer a free penetration test and vulnerability scan risk assessment that you can use for your compliance assessments. It's a third party. The third party that assesses me allows me to do a few every month, about 5 of them every month. We're coming right into a new month, so I have a fresh run. I will supply the link in the chat for those that want to sign up. You'll have an initial call with me, and then move on to a second call after we do the assessment. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you very much. And last but not least, we have Quay Eady.
Hello, and thank you guys for the opportunity to present to NaVOBA and your corporate allies. And I want to start off by saying leadership is tough today. Things are changing. The speed of change makes leadership really tough. But as leaders, we have the amazing opportunity to shape the future. Now, it's not going to be easy, but with the right mindset, all things are possible, guys. So hello, friends. I am Quay. I am the Principal Leadership Advisor at Quay Eady Consulting here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I have a question for you. Are you satisfied with your current level of success? Now, this could be your organization, your team, or yourself. Now, I'm sure majority of you are going to say, yes, Quay, things are going great, and we're looking forward to more. But I hope that some of you would say, well, Quay, I'm sure we could do more right now. So in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how I can support your organization in developing a dynamic, strong force of leadership that can lead through any situation and create more success. So a lot of people wonder, how did I get here? What was my journey? And I'm not sure if you can relate, but whenever I got a little bit of success, it only lasted for a little while. So after I got out the Navy, I started going to college because I really value education, as you can see. And after a stint, about 9 years, I know most people become doctors after 9 years in college. Me, I was only the director of analytics. But as I was climbing the corporate ladder, my supervisor, Tish, wonderful lady, she came up to me and she said, Quay, you need a leadership coach. And at first I was a little shocked. I was like, well, what do you mean? I mean, I thought I was doing well. And all of this unconscious sabotage started popping up. I started asking myself the wrong questions. Do I have time for leadership coaching? How much time is this going to take? I'm already busy. I'm already stretched thin. What about my current capacity? Who's going to do the work? Who's going to pick up the slack? And most importantly, what is the end result of this leadership coaching? How is it going to help me, help my team, help the organization? And I found out, thanks to Tish, that leadership coaching was a surprise in disguise. It really was. Because on a personal level, I increased my salary by 54% in less than 2 years. Before the organization, I learned how to shape the culture. I learned how to bring the best out of me and out of my team. And I began to see the organization and see things, I began to see the bigger picture. I began to align my goals and my team goals with the organizational goals. So we were all marching down the same path into the same tune. Now, being in the Navy, we used to run in ranks all the time. There was somebody in front of you, somebody beside you, either side, pushing you to keep going. Even if you're tired, falling asleep while you were running, whatever, there was always someone to push you. And seeing that bigger picture through leadership allowed me to be a better leader. So how many of you guys would be like super excited if your teams could see the bigger picture? If your leaders were bringing the best out of themselves and out of their team, that would be phenomenal. The most important thing that I learned during my leadership coaching is that there is not one recipe for leadership that drives success. Here we have about 50 or 60 words in this leadership cloud. If you can count how many words in there, I have a Starbucks gift card for you. But leadership is so situational. There isn't one recipe foolproof. There's not. But just like a cake recipe, there are some base ingredients. And when we're baking a cake, the base ingredients could be like flour, sugar, butter, maybe an egg or two. But in leadership, I like to think that those base ingredients are what I call universal leadership strategies. In these strategies, they promote higher productivity, higher profit, better performance. And those three strategies are connection, communication, and culture. With connection, when there's clarity around the connection, an employee can easily connect their role and their responsibility to the job. They can see how their role impacts decision-making. They can see how they're influencing the growth of the organization. And when employees see that, they have more job satisfaction and they do a better job. When it comes to communication, if a leader can communicate in a style where they are stimulating a change in behavior or a change in thinking, that's when the team really begins to grow and expand. In culture, we all know how important a culture is. You have to have a strong culture of feedback, accountability, and continuous success or continuous development to drive success. Things don't change unless we do. Things don't grow unless we do. And if we focus on our connection, communication, and culture, we will definitely be moving in the right direction. Now, I used to be the director of analytics for MGM, and I was on a team called Enterprise Analytics. And every revenue stream had an analytics team. And for table games, which was us, we really had great rapport, great relationships, great engagement and collaboration with our partners. Now, the other revenue streams really didn't have that good connection. They would give recommendations and insights, and they really wouldn't be bought into. So the chief analytics officer asked me to explain how we did our process. And the number one thing was we connected. In order to collaborate, you have to connect. You have to know where your customers are going, where they are, where they want to be, and they help them get there. And building that connection created such a strong culture that they have our team teach the other leaders how to connect and cross-collaborate with other departments. And so with our base ingredients, we have a handful of ways that we can partner together to build this dynamic force of leadership. And that is through keynotes, workshops, or facilitation, as well as coaching. My favorite keynote to deliver is what glass ceiling? Because greatness is unbiased. I believe that people would not think they had a glass ceiling if they weren't told. And I have plenty of examples of how greatness is so unbiased. I also talk about leadership market value. We all know that leadership is one of our biggest components of competitive advantages, and as well as leadership influence. With leadership being very situational, you have to really build that muscle of having a flexible leadership style. And all of those can be delivered in workshops, lunch and learns, breakout sessions, team trainings, things like that. But I get really excited about the coaching feature here. Leadership expansion, that is one of my favorites, where I really go in and help build up the leadership mindset, where all things are possible, where we can get through this issue, we can get past the finish line and hit the next level, make more money, have more profit, boost those margins, and really boost morale. The other one that's really cool to me, I think, is the corporate citizenship program. This is for more junior people when they are trying to figure out how they fit into the corporate environment. I felt like I was a strong corporate citizen. I always watered the grass where I was, and that made my career very strong. So I know you guys are probably wondering, when do you contact Quay? So you definitely want to contact me before you have low morale, high turnover, lack of cohesion, monotonous days, things are getting boring and routine, there's lackluster performance, we're stuck in the old way when we know we need to do new things to have new results, and if there's a ton of different disagreements. So you want to reach out to me before that. If that's already happening, we're a little bit behind the curve, but things can still be salvaged, I promise. And so my ask for the crew is to stay in touch. I want to be in touch with your HR partners, any shared services team that has to cross collaborate, where there seems to be some friction, where people are buying into ideas to drive change and growth. And here you can connect with me on LinkedIn or email. If you'd like to schedule a quick chat, you can scan the QR code right there. But as our friend and my Uncle Ben, no relation, says, well done is better than well said. And it's probably been a while. You guys are saying, you know, we really need to do something, boost morale, boost margins. Now, I may be able to help with something right now, or maybe down the line, whatever the case, let's stay in touch and let's see what we can do to get you from where you are to where you want to be and create a transformation in your business. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And thank you to all the presenters. You guys all did great. At this time, I'd like to open the floor if anyone has any questions. All right, I don't see any questions. If you guys look through the chat, everyone has put their contact information. Does anyone from the NaVOBA team have anything they would like to add?
Hi, everyone. This is Mimi Loam. I just wanted to say great job to all the presenters. Philip, I sent you a message too in the chat. Quay, I love your energy. Wonderful presentations by all. So thank you. Nancy, do you have any comments, suggestions? I see Heather went on camera.
Just wanted to say great job. Thank you all for taking the time to present and for everyone taking the time to be on today.
Yeah, thanks, Mimi. I don't have anything to add, but I concur. Thanks for sending us off with a high energy presentation, Quay. Yay!
All right, thank you everyone for your continued support. And reminder, if you are a VBE that would like to present, please shoot me an email, alexis@navoba.org. If you're a corporation that would like to present, you could either contact me or Mimi, and that's mimi.loam@navoba.org. And if nobody has anything to add, I will send you guys off on your day, and I will leave the chat box open for a few minutes if you guys would like to jot down some contact information.
Thank you.
And actually, Quay, a question just popped up for you. What services do you have for small businesses?
So small businesses, depending on the size, workshops, keynotes, one-on-one coaching. Also have some like lunch and learns if you don't have a lot of time. You just want to get like a quick impact, a quick little jump of juice.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem.